G'day, I'm PeterG. I'd like to introduce you to MyCall. This is the prototype system, so there are still some upgrades needed before it's ready to use in training and games. But you'll see it includes some devices on the ground, a device attached to the back of my shoe, and a computer to receive the information. So before we start, let's have a look at the law that MyCall will be enforcing. This is the MCC website. Law 21 is the no ball, scrolling down to part 5, which deals with the feet. So 5.1 is that the back foot can't touch the return crease. 5.2 is that the front foot must land, so this means that we're only interested in the location as it lands. Any movement after that is irrelevant. So it must land with some part of the foot whether grounded or raised, which is also important to note. On the same side of the imaginary line joining the two middle stumps is the return crease described in 5.1 and behind the popping crease. And just so we're all on the same page, here's a picture of the creases with their names. So now I'll show you MyCall in operation. To begin, I'll just show you the basic function of the system by pretending to bowl through my action. So if you look down here on the computer display, you can see the coordinates, so the location of the rear of the shoe as it lands in the delivery stride. First number here is the X coordinate, or the distance along the popping crease. We're not too interested in this number at the moment, but it can be useful as feedback to bowlers or coaches from a tactics perspective. Also in the unlikely case of the front foot no ball where the foot is actually on the wrong side of that imaginary line between the two middle stumps. The second number is the Y coordinate. This is the one we're interested in for the most common form of the front foot no ball. This gives a distance behind or over the popping crease. In this case, MyCall says the rear of the foot was 13.2 centimetres behind the line, which we'll double check on the replay. The third number here is the signal error. There are a few things that affect accuracy at the moment, which will be massively improved with the next phase of development. One of these factors is the signal error. In this case, MyCall says the signal was accurate to within 1.4 centimetres. As you can see from the replay here, the actual position of the rear of the foot at landing was about 12 centimetres behind the line. So MyCall did okay there. Now let's have a look at how MyCall can detect a no ball. So again, we'll have the coordinates and the signal error, but MyCall was also displaying here that it was a no ball. So we'll ignore the X coordinate for now, and you can see the signal error in this case is actually within 1 mil. And the Y coordinate was negative 11.7 centimetres. So you can see from the replay here, as the foot lands, the actual Y coordinate should be about negative 10.5 centimetres. One of the main things that affects accuracy at the moment is that it requires manual calibration of the location of the ground receivers as well as air temperature and humidity. All of these things will be solved in the next phase of development by introducing self-calibration. So what about a bowler who lands with their foot raised? This is one of the unique abilities of MyCall and something I was careful to cover in the patent. I'll now demonstrate to you by bowling with a spin bowling action. So this time, even though my heel didn't even touch the ground, MyCall is still able to give us the location of the landing. In this case, it's saying I was only half a centimetre behind the line, with a signal error of 4.3 centimetres. Now this is quite a high signal error, and you'll also notice from the replay that the actual Y coordinate should have been more like 7 centimetres. With the next phase of development, there will be more ground receivers. This will not only allow for self-calibration as I mentioned, but will also make it a lot more accurate in cases like this where the heel is raised. So that's the basic demo of MyCall in operation. So where to from here? I've already mentioned the accuracy improvements, which should bring the accuracy to consistently within 5 mil even when the heel is raised. There are some other upgrades to be made as well. The main ones will be to reduce the size of the shoe device so that it's a lot smaller and thinner, and either curved or flexible or both to fit nicely around the curve of the shoe. The engineers and I will also finalise the best attachment method. The next phase will also have the ground receivers outside the return creases and in the ground flush with the surface. One of the other major benefits of MyCall is its ability to capture motion data from the shoe device. This includes impact force of the delivery stride, which directly correlates to the impact on the bowler's body. It can be registered to each bowler individually and stored in a database for workload management. All of this should be enough to sell MyCall as a training version, but then it can be upgraded to the basic game version by developing a custom handheld receiver device. This device can be held by the on-field umpires to replace the little ball counter they currently hold. It will automatically count balls and overs for them and allow them to input for wides and wickets. It will alert them as soon as there's a no ball so that they can call it in play like they normally would. It will also display the landing locations to give feedback to the bowlers. Thanks for watching this demo of MyCall. And while you're playing or watching cricket this summer, just think, whose call is the no ball? It shouldn't be the umpire's call. It should be my call. Cheers.